that's the thing. Yep. If you want a job to hang out, and like this is back to the mixologist thing. Like if your title is a mixologist only, then like that's a person who works for like a big house like Bacardi or works for like SWS Glaciers or stuff. Their job is to like stay in an office and come up with drinks to put on sell sheets to give to frontline reps to go into dive bars and be like, hey man, I know you don't think you have a reason to have like this obscure liqueur, but here's 5 recipes with it and like you should probably try it. And like that's like okay. That's like mixology on a professional level is only cocktail development and no guest interaction. Right. And it's got to be a balance, and a balance that's skewed in the favor of guest interaction.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's like if you don't feel good drinking at my bar, then you're not going to come back. And if you don't come back, our business is going to fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we should come up with a new name for the hybrid bartender.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I wish I met you back when these guys did. I feel left out. You're like, oh, I know Chris and Evan.
But I think
but you're a great combination. You know what I mean? But so going to these events that you go to, have you met people that completely just say, no, I'm a mixologist?
Oh, totally. And
because I've met a few, so I'm guarantee that you've met dozens.
Yeah, and they're the worst. And, like, kind of the nice thing... Like, you know, Norfolk has been a small scene for a long... Well, you know, like, the 757 has been, like, a tiny scene, I mean, since, like, 2013, 2014 when kind of it started. Yeah. And it's been really nice getting into these other areas and kind of, like... There's, like, a little validation and seeing, like, okay, like, I made some mistakes, but I've made some good decisions. And, like, as I'm evolving, the people who I'm really making friends with are the same ones who will, like, come up to me at a party and be like... Can you believe this fucking dickhead? I'm like, no, I can't believe it. And that's so great that you can't believe him either.
That's awesome.
Like, this is fantastic. But yeah, totally, like...
Well, I think you said it earlier, too, and it's like, if they're... The people that you know, and, more power to them, that actually say that, I'm a mixologist. Like, we already know who you are. Like, and you are that pretentious cockologist. Or
Coctologist,
Coctologist.
Yes.
I love that.
But, again, there's nothing wrong. I think, I actually was talking to somebody about this the other day where it's like, I wouldn't kiss somebody's like, oh, you're a mixologist. I was like, no, I don't do that. I basically bartend, and I've learned some cocktails along the way, and I can kind of piece some things together if I have the right ingredients in front of me. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not that, that caliber, you know what I mean? But I do respect it by all means.
Absolutely.
And then, shout out to Ramon. Me and Ramon opened a couple of yard houses together. After I left Vegas, he ended up going to this, like, really, like, high-end, craft cocktail bar. Sure. Where there was a gin fizz that has the egg white in there. There's some drink that had an egg white in
Ramos
there.
Gin Fizz. It's like the egg white and cream and like the head that comes up on the top.
Yeah,
and stuff.
so the guy has to shake it for like extended amount of time. Yeah. So he says, so he didn't realize. So Ramon's like, we were out there training and stuff like that, and so Ramon goes to this place and he's like, I'm gonna try this gin fizz thing. this. Yeah, so he orders that and he says the guy just drops to like a knee and just starts shaking this thing, shaking this tin. He says he started shaking it, and it's like I did a test the other day with the employees. I said, look, we're going to sit here for a minute and just not say a word, and nobody look at their watch. You know what I mean? So, dude, it was like, he said it was just weird silence where he was just not silence with that shaking tin. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know how long he's shaking it for. Maybe it was like 2 minutes, and then he stops. And there's like a bead of sweat that wipes his head. And then he goes back and shaking the tin.
Stretches out his triceps.
So the OG thing with that cocktail, like that's a New Orleans original. Yeah. And like the original story was that like the guy who invented that cocktail had like a line of 12 shaker boys. Yeah. And so he'd build the cocktail and hand it to the first guy, and he'd shake it for a minute and then pass it, and then like they'd put it up at the end. Right. And so, all right, so the 12-minute Ramos Gin Fizz, that's mixology. Yeah. What like... I learned, like, shout out to another New Orleans homie, Mark Shetler, a 3-minute Ramos, that's bartending. Yeah. That's when, like, we're going to get you just as good a drink in less time to make you happier because we love you and want you to have nice things.
Right. So I think that he, from what Ramon told me, it was more of like somewhere in the middle, where it was like 6 minutes. but even still, 6 minutes.
I mean, that's a long time. You're going to the bathroom twice. But you're getting an appetizer.
Right. He said, he said he felt so bad. He was like, oh, but he said the guy was so cool.
You start ordering.
When it was done, he was like,
when
"I'll never order that again. I'm so sorry."
When they get dropped to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what, like if you know your fucking martini is going to take you 6 minutes to get made,
it's
then
dropped.
Yeah, as soon as it drops, like, I'll take another.
Yeah.
Start whenever.
And that even used to be like, thank God it's like kind of coming out of vogue, but that used to be the joke at kind of like some of your higher end cocktail bars, where like the idea was you'd walk in and you'd be like, hey man, can I get a daiquiri and a menu?
Hey.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be
Because like, you know, you can make a daiquiri in 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Then I need to look at the menu while I have this drink and figure out what I want. And by the time I finish my first drink, I'll actually get the cocktail that like I came here for.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for smaller menus too. Shit, man.
Yeah.
We definitely, I feel like we definitely streamlined the process. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Ever since Josh, when I first met you, you definitely sparked a sharp interest in
mixology.
In mixology, in the idea of being able to piece together the puzzle. Really, you know, because it's the same thing as like being able to cook, and then also being like a 5-star world renowned chef or chef. Just having that little extra knowledge, you know, and it's all situational, right? Depending on like where you're working and what you're doing. But then there also is like some knowledge that just kind of crosses all planes, no matter, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
can I blow my horn?
Go ahead.
I made a watermelon drink the other day, and it was really good.
Hell yeah.
So, like, what happened was like, Crystal comes in. I'd run out of, like, lime juice, and I was like, shit, can you run to the store and grab some lime juice for me? And she's like, yeah, I'll do that. So she goes to the store, comes back, and she's got this watermelon, and when we cut it up, it's, like, this deep, like, awesome red. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's a serious watermelon. So
she went to the store to get lime juice. She came back with a watermelon.
Well, lime juice also. Lime juice also.
She went produce shopping.
But
she brought a whole cart over.
She's just great.
We're gonna get creative today.
Get one of everything that looks good.
It's like
don't forget
sweet.
the basil, babe.
Well, she grabbed strawberries as well. They're grabbing like 4 things of strawberries because it was like 4 for $5, and I said, well, that's good. You know what I mean? I'm glad you did that.
She just wanted to
for
eat
sure.
it.
But so anyway, so this watermelon comes back, and she gives us, she cuts up this watermelon, and she sets it down like, oh shit, that's like this. It was so good. It was like amazing. I was like, I gotta make something with this.
Yeah.
So I took the watermelon. It was like a seedless, or seedless-ish. You know what I mean? So I pureed it, put a little bit of simple syrup in the puree, strained it out. Put it in the blender, strained it out, and then made this like little this like dragonberry. It was dragonberry Bacardi, the puree, a little bit of lime juice, and then like some soda, and it was like fucking highly refreshing. It was like it was like real simple. You know what I mean? And then it was like, fuck, what else can I make of this? And I was like, I'm gonna make a mule with it. So I used the same puree with the with like a Smirnoff raspberry, and then some ginger beer and a little bit of lime juice, and like it was good.
Yeah,
and people
you can get
buying.
Every barely 21-year-old to get that.
Yeah, no, but but people were drinking them, and I was like, oh,
shout
cool.
out Smirnoff.
Oh yeah, say what else? That just happened. That was what I had behind the bar.
No, I get it. I was just.
But it was tasty.
It's funny that you said watermelon too, because I went to Zeke's Beans and Bowls down off of Norfolk Ave.
19th.
Yeah. Norfolk Ave.
There you go.
Like 9th. But they have this
also Granby Street, Norfolk. What up?
right? But they have this watermelon cucumber salad that's like to die for. It's like show you watermelon cucumber salad or watermelon cucumbers, and like sesame seeds, right? That's like it, and it's delicious and it's extremely affordable. I was like, you know what? This would be a fucking great drink.
Yeah, watermelon cucumber.
That like being able to take like a food that I feel something about, I feel positive about. I'm like, man, that's fucking awesome. And think about how I could pair it or create a cocktail that is something like it, so I can get the same feeling from tasting it, like utilizing alcohol instead of like actual food. That to me is like, that blows my fucking mind.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. So we all live in an area that's transient. We're busy, tourist-driven area. So it is a very speed-oriented bar scene out here in Virginia. But would you say, I love it. So I work at a bar where it's Orange Crushes and Bud Light.
That's it.
Every day.
Coors Light too.
Coors Light too. You know what? We'll throw Miller Light in there too.
Shout
out Miller Light.
Little Nick Ultra Time.
Yeah. But I do love it, kind of like where you were tying in with that, is I love it when someone's like, can I just get like a Cosmo or a Dirty Martini? I will make the shit out of that.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I'm like, you know what? They haven't had this made properly here because I know we only have 2 martini glasses in the whole fucking store. So I'm gonna chill it. I'm gonna make everything right for them so that they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know you could do this here. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No, you're 100% right. So the thing is about that, and I know exactly what you're talking about. But I think sometimes the perception of them and then their taste buds like work together. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they see Steve, they see his excitement of like, oh yeah, I fucking got this shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they like see the total passion and involvement that he puts into it, and they're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever had. You know what I mean? They, from watching him do it and his excitement level, it's like, oh wow, this is really good.
Well, going back to like
and that,
balancing, the whole being a bartender or mixologist, like I enjoy making a good drink that people will fucking love. Yep. I don't care if I'm weeded. I don't care if it's their first time there. I'm gonna make sure they have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to enjoy this fucking drink, and it's going to be great. I don't care if it weeds me a little bit, and now tickets are blowing up. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's your first time here.
Especially now to, like, get on my walker, but, like, the internet's ruined everything. Like, if someone just needs a drink recipe, like, they can make that shit at home.
Yeah.
Like, they're coming to a bar for the experience. They're coming to a bar to feel good. And to loop it back to, like, learning things from each other. Like, honestly, the two of you at Yard House, like, when I was at Twist, I was working all the time. That was the only other bar I really went to.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, that's where I learned a lot about just, like, genuine warmth toward your guests.
Oh, yeah.
And just, like, enjoying your job and, like, remembering that, like, basically, the bars back here, everything on that side is superficial bullshit, and it's like all about what you're like putting out to the guest, and doing that. And like I've like held that with me for at least 5 years now. You know what I mean?
Respect, man.
Yeah.
And then same what Chris said though is like again back to that time when I met you over there. I was the same way. I was like, I like this thing. Like this whole like this craft cocktail thing, like we did it over at Yard House, but you were definitely on another level. So it was like when I came over there, and then the way you introduced it, or basically showed me what you were doing, it was like all respectful. It was like all like totally inclusive. I didn't feel like an outsider, but it was like it was awesome, and I was like,
different.
It's like even
I want to do that too.
I've gotten to do some like fun consulting gigs for places like Peabody's and Hot Tuna and stuff like that, where they're like, hey, can you just come and like kind of teach our people like about some spirits and about some cocktails and stuff. And I always make it a huge point to come in and like open whatever the session is with, hey, look, y'all are already talented bartenders. Like if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. I'm not coming here to teach you how to do your job. I want you to think of it like you're already like highly talented French chefs, and like I'm here to teach you sushi. Like it's a lot of the same skills, and it's just a different application. But like I'm not coming in to be like, I'm Mr. Bartender. Like here's how to do your job.
I was talking about this exact thing the last podcast about the because opening Yard Houses, you have 25 bartenders that are all. I'm so bad with it. I know.
No, it's okay.
Wait, do you open Yard Houses?
What will you do when I'm not here to turn this for you?
So sorry. I'm terrible with the microphone, guys. But no, but when I was opening the Yard Houses, I'm walking into a situation where there's 25 bartenders that are all pretty, they've got some
egotistic.
Talent. Yeah, and they're all alphas, you know what I mean? We can't help it. There's like the alpha. Every bartender is the best bartender.
Well, that's part of, like, I've always told people that, like, if you're a server, it's the restaurant's table. But if you're a bartender, it's your fucking bar, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Own it.
Exactly. But
just not when you're being trained.
But it's the same thing. It was like the way that you just said it was the way I had to figure out was like I had to explain it wasn't that I am better than you. Mm-hmm. I'm just here to teach you this thing.
We just need you to do it this way.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
So in opening like corporate situations like that, so like I mean at this point like I'm kind of a serial bar opener.
Yeah.
Like I've done one or two.
Right.
Slut.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're all getting there. Just heads up, put this out there in the universe. We should start a consulting company, guys.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Josh, don't steal our business.
No, I want Josh to be a part of it.
No, absolutely. I was just saying.
I mean, I have some further ideas. And then
throw it out there. I have an LLC and an umbrella and a shirt with a dope logo on it. So just
that is a dope shirt.
I just realized those are like
wait, what's your
those are glasses. They're not
what's your LLC called? Model Citizen. Oh, which is also if anyone wants to still come see me in Norfolk, we'll be running the Model Citizen pop-up the last Sunday of every month at Crudo Nudo from 6:30 to.
So what is Model Citizen?
So Model Citizen is actually something I started at Twist when it was made clear that it was coming time for me and Twist to split ways.
Got it.
And, you know, also this sometimes good things come out of being like, I was the 22-year-old idiot. And I'm like, I'm going to start a consulting firm. Like,